How you doing, y'all? Welcome to Confidence. We are back, season 3. I hope you guys are fucking excited. I am excited. Do you see how excited I am? I'm fucking excited. Wow. Great break. Happy New Year. Holy fuck, we're here. 2020 fucking 6. Can you believe it? Humanity has gone a really long way. But I do want to remind you of something. Sometimes I think we forget this, but 2,000 years is really not that long, right? And I'm pretty sure, is this AD? Is this after Christ? I don't know the acronym. You guys are going to have to help me. But long story short, we think that like, oh my God, like, I don't know, we've came such a long way, even in the last like 100 years, 2,000 years. Like, bro, motherfucker, this earth has been around for millions and millions and millions of years. Doesn't that blow your fucking mind? Doesn't that blow your mind? So as much as you think that you are the shit or that your problems are really that big, guess what? No, it's not. And that's going to be the fucking podcast today. I'm taking down your ego right now. Are you guys excited? Let's get into it. Okay, this is what I got planned for you. I went into a very deep contemplation based on my own triggers. Are you guys ready for Anxious Avoidant Town? Because that's exactly where we're going. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what triggered me in my dating situation. And we're going to talk about the root fears in which, I don't know, it's kind of like I've realized, holy shit, I've been operating from like this really fearful place. And it's really nice to like know that I'm always learning, that I'm always getting better, that I'm always expanding myself. And I think it's really, honestly, anybody that's anxious or avoidant or insecurely attached in any way, I think this is really going to relate to you. And hopefully it gives you an idea on how to go deeper with yourself in order to get to the answers that you need for your own personal shit. And then I'm going to talk about self-love. And not in this like corny ass motherfucking way. Self-love is not this like external bullshit. Like go to the store by yourself. Like buy yourself a cupcake. Like no, motherfucker, that's not self-love. It could be, but I'm going to tell you what I believe is the real definition of self-love. And that's, again, my belief, but I've really been doing a lot of work on this, so I hope you guys, here's the thing, I know you guys will fucking hear it. And then I will tackle one situation in which we will apply the idea of self-love to the situation that we go through. All right, you guys got it? 1, 2, 3, that's a strikeout in baseball, but it's also 1, 2, 3 is a very common cultural thing, which means like, let's fucking go. Because if I did 4 topics, that'd be kind of weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's a lot. That's too much. Let's get it simple. All right, you guys ready? Oh, well, first off, like new year, new vibe. I think a lot of people get like so excited about the new year, and it's cool, right? New year kind of feels like this like releasing of the old, stepping into this new version of yourself. And I'm all for that, whatever, congratulations to those people, right? New year, new me. But holy fuck, am I so different than in past years. I really am. Like just my energy, the feelings that I have about myself, my life, my confidence, my calmness, my peace, it is just wildly different. Like right now going into this new year, it's not like I'm excited. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm inspired by the fact that like there is a new year coming, but how do I put this? Bro, I'm grounded now. Like I'm grounded in who I am. I'm grounded in my ability to be happy with all experiences. And gosh, it doesn't feel like this, like I'm trying to like falsely leave like heaviness. Cause that's what I think it is. Like, I feel like people get to the new year and they feel like they need to completely change themselves, which means to me that the person that you are, right? Or that the way that you feel, you don't feel like you are where you're supposed to be. And to me, that's what I guess has changed for me dramatically is like, I know who I am. I'm right where I need to fucking be. Exactly where I need to be. I don't feel like I need to be somewhere else other than where I am. And I think that is the revelation that I'm having like for myself. And I want to share with you because to me, it's more powerful than the fucking new year and creating this whole new version of yourself. And don't get me wrong, I'm all about growth. I'm all about motherfucking growth. But steady as we go. It's not wholesale changes. You can't change everything in a heartbeat. But not only just that, I think sometimes our desire gets in the way of our happiness. Our desire for a new experience, our desire for something that we don't currently have is what makes us struggle. It's what keeps us held back. I think somebody sent me a TikTok actually, and I wanted to bring this up really quick because I thought it was important, right? She sent me this TikTok, and on the TikTok, it was just a meme. So it was just a text, right? And the text says, and I'll show it to you. You probably can't see it, but it says, "I cast out that spirit of singlehood in you. May your soulmate locate you in 2026. And you go to the comments and everybody's like, yeah, please, I need my soulmate. Like, goddamn, this is the year. And this is exactly what I'm motherfucking talking about. Because you want to know the level of happiness where I'm at right now? Or peace? I'm not wishing for an experience that I don't have currently. I don't. Don't get me wrong. Will it be beautiful if I get into a relationship? Great. If I find my quote unquote soulmate? Great. And honestly, as I start doing this work for myself deeper and deeper and deeper, I don't know if maybe I don't want to come off as negative in any way. But here's the truth. I think when we have this pressure of like soulmate and meeting a person, I think we're getting it backwards. Because the truth is I am enough as I am. I am enough for myself. I don't need somebody else to fulfill the needs that I have for myself. And I think a lot of people have this idea in their head that somebody's going to come along and bring them their peace, bring them their happiness. And don't get me wrong, you could meet somebody and the vibe could be amazing, right? You guys could be in love. Oh my God, this is amazing. But I was listening to one of my favorite authors, and I'm in a community group with him, and he was speaking, and I went to go watch it over the weekend, and he said something that was really powerful to me, to the group, and he was talking about how people get so excited, they get into a relationship, let's say that other person fulfills your needs. Let's say it's even for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and you're happily married. At some point, your own feelings about yourself are still going to be there. No one's ever going to fulfill the needs that you have for yourself beyond yourself. Even if you get into something amazing. And this is what I guess I'm trying to say about the new year and shit too. Is that everybody, I think, clings on to these ideas that something external to them, the future, a relationship, another person, a job, success, this thing that they want, that those things are going to bring them the fulfillment that they so desperately want. And the core message behind it was, no matter who you meet, no matter how deeply you fall in love, that person is not going to satisfy your every desire and your every need. They're not. Right? And if you could find stability in your own self, in your own energy, in what it is that you're doing from a day-to-day basis, you don't need the external things. They come as a byproduct of your own love. I'm getting into the self-love thing already, which is exactly that, which is being truly at peace with who you are and what your experience is at all times. And that is not an easy place to get to. And I guess that's what I'm trying to tell you guys about the new year and me, is that that's how I feel. I'm like, I don't care what year it is, 2026, 2027, 2028, fucking eat my ass. It doesn't matter. You could put any number there. I'm going to be good. I'm good. January 1st, January 3rd, January 8th, the year of the dog, the year of the elephant, the year of the monkey. It don't matter. You can give me any fucking year, the year of the turd. It doesn't fucking matter. Because I'm good with me. I'm good with my experience. So no, I don't want to cast out that spirit of singlehood in me. No, I'm not single because I'm just like, I don't know. It's just the experience that I'm in right now. It's not a good thing or it's not a bad thing. I refuse to judge my experience based on my relationship status. Refuse. If you're a person that judges their own experience based on their relationship status, ask yourself why you are sad. You want to know why you are sad? It's because you're making yourself sad. Most people don't realize, but you're choosing your struggles. You're choosing them. When you want something beyond yourself and you're attached to it, there's a difference. It's okay to desire things. It's okay to be intentional about something. I'm intentional about my relationships. I'm intentional about this podcast. I'm intentional about my work. I'm intentional about becoming a better person. But I am not tied to those things. I'm not attached to it. If this podcast for some reason goes away, guess what? If my identity is wrapped up in it, what am I going to feel if it goes away? Take a guess. Sadness. Oh, they took my microphone away. My life sucks. What happens with people in a relationship, right? That's what happens. Oh, I love this person. They don't love me back. My life sucks. Because you're attached. Your identity is attached to the thing. You're not allowing for the experience. You could still love somebody in that way. Love is not attachment. Those are two separate things. That's what I'm trying to say. I could love this podcast and still not be attached to it. And I think people don't see that it is possible for that, right? I could show up every single day and make videos, but if I don't wrap it up in my identity, it's not who I am. I don't make it who I am. Then guess what? If a video doesn't do that good, who cares? Fuck it. If my identity is not in the gym and being jacked, guess what? What happens if I miss a day? All right. Now, if I care about it and I love it, am I still going to do it? Yes. Yes. So I guess what I'm trying to say is everything that I do in my life right now is from a place of love and non-attachment. I'm here because I love, and I'm not here because I'm attached. Huge difference. And I guess that's what I'm trying to say about your relationship status. Love yourself. Fulfill your own needs. Let a relationship come as a byproduct of that. Your own happiness you can receive on your own. Your own love, the love that you want in the world. It comes from within first. All right. We're going to get into also what I truly, you know what? Fuck it. Maybe I should just stick with the self-love thing because it's just on the topic right now, and then I'll get into the trigger thing. But you know what? And this is what I guess I'm trying to explain to you is that to me, you know what self-love really is? Self-love is self-responsibility. Self-love is self-responsibility. I'm saying it like I'm a teacher. And so I want you to sit with that for a second, right? Be curious. Don't act like you fucking know everything because we know nothing. By the way, if you're a really intelligent person, you stop thinking that you fucking know everything because you know nothing. The more that you don't know, the smarter you are. So now open up, right? Open up your mind. Self-love is self-responsibility. What does that mean to you? Just take a second. To me, the reason I define self-love as self-responsibility is because when you take responsibility for everything that you need, that's the highest form of self-love. It's the highest form of self-respect. It's not giving away your power to anybody and anything, right? If something's not going your way, especially in a relationship, I see this all the time. What happens? You blame. Oh, it's their fault. You didn't make me happy. It's your fault. You are making me sad. You are making me angry. No one is making you do shit. And I know that's hard because I still struggle with that. I'm going to tell you guys about a story in which I got triggered and I started being a needy little bitch. And now I'm using harsh words. You are not a needy little bitch. You're a human being. And again, you have certain beliefs that you feel that emotions happen outside of you and emotions just happen to you and emotions happen because of other people. But what I want to teach you and help you with is that no, they do not. No, they do not. You know what's fucking insane? And this is what I'm learning, this deep, holy fuck, I've loved this work that I've been doing, is that you are the owner and the creator of your emotions. But because they happen so fast, you don't recognize it as that. So I guess an example of this would be like, let's say somebody does something to piss you off, right? Whatever it is. They don't fucking text you back. Let's just take that hypothetical. Is it on them that you are feeling angry? No, because here's the other thing too. Two people can experience the same exact thing and perceive it a way different way. Now, take two situations, right? Let's say you have an anxious girl, and then let's say you have a guy that's or a girl that's very nonchalant. Let's just say that. Some girl that's very secure in herself, it is what it is. You have the same situation happens to the same two girls, right? You have a guy that they're dating, and the guy was like, hey, I'm going to go hang out with my friends tonight. I'll talk to you soon, right? You text the guy back like, okay, like that sounds good. You text him again like, have fun tonight. Homie doesn't answer you back. 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours. You don't hear from him for the rest of the night. How do you think anxious girl perceives that situation? What is she going to do? She might feel what? Triggered, right? She might be like, why the fuck is he ignoring me? Why didn't he check in with me? I don't get it. And what do? Automatically. Oh, you are making me sad. You are making me anxious. No, that's not what's actually happening. What's actually happening is you have inner beliefs and fear around relationships that are being projected onto the situation. Because you might have another girl that experiences this same exact situation, and guess what? Let's say she's a little bit more secure in herself, or let's just say she doesn't have a lot of fear when it comes to abandonment. She had, parents that really gave her love. She trusts love. She doesn't believe that people are out here to fuck her over, right? She doesn't believe that. How does she perceive that guy? He's with his friends. See ya. Now, let me ask you, did that guy make either of those two girls feel something? Technically, no. Do you guys see what I'm saying? What you don't recognize is that everything that you feel is based on beliefs that you have. And the way that you walk around on planet Earth right now in the world is based on these rose-colored glasses of perception based on your beliefs. So what you will start to recognize is that no one makes you feel something. You feel something because you are reacting to something that is happening in the world based on beliefs. And usually the reason we get triggered is because we have fears. We have fearful beliefs. And when we have fearful beliefs, what happens is people in the world do stuff, right? Do something, and we get triggered and we get upset. But a lot of the times, because most people are on the surface, right? People live at level 1. They don't have this level of awareness. They turn around and they blame the situation. They put the responsibility on the other person. What they'll do is, right, take the anxious girl. What is she going to do? She's having fear. Does she take self-responsibility and say, hey, these are my feelings. Let me learn to self-regulate. Hey, you know what? I'm not just going to jump down their throat. I'm not going to double text them 6 times. I'm not going to call them 4 times. Maybe I'm feeling like I want to, but can I take a step back and have the awareness that these are my feelings? They're not his. But again, what do most people do? Where are you? Why are you not answering me? Phone call. And then they don't answer, right? Because they're with their friends or they're doing something. And then what do? Oh, you're an asshole. Why are you making me feel fear? You fucker. Can't believe you. You son of a gun. Like, we what happens? We get mad. And then we blame them. And then we wonder why. Then we're like, oh, gosh, I wish I wasn't so much. The truth is, most people on earth are very fucking needy. They are. We all think that somebody else is supposed to provide for us, right? Oh, if I had more support. Oh, if they just would have texted me back. Oh, if this would have happened. It's always something external. Oh my God, I had no control. I had zero control. Which is true, you don't control the outside circumstances. But you do have an ability to be aware of the things that you are choosing, right? So hypothetically, now let's go back to that same situation. Let's say we have a situation in which, that guy keeps not texting you back and randomly he just falls off the face of the earth. Let's say if it's even the other way around, right? Let's say it's a girl doing it to a guy, right? You're the guy and you're like, she keeps fucking ignoring me. She keeps ignoring me. You got to get to the root of how you feel, right? You got to get to the root of understanding why you keep putting yourself in these situations that you do. So again, it's not wrong to communicate. Let's say hypothetically you are feeling some sort of fear or whatever it is. I think vulnerable communication on that is great. But I think not enough people take enough responsibility for their own shit, for their own feelings. And so I'm actually going to tell you a situation in which I did not. I'm going to show you directly how to do this work based on a trigger that I had in a relationship, because I have a lot of fear in relationships. I am coming from a background of very insecure attachment. I struggle with love in that aspect. I used to, right? We don't use language that says I struggle in the current, because that's not true. The future and the present is not the past. You got to be really careful with your words. I've been very on top of myself about not saying I struggle with, this is hard, this will never happen. You got to stop doing that. You're projecting the shit out of the past onto the future. But okay, back to really quick, before I get into the trigger situation, self-love is self-responsibility. That's what I'm trying to say. The more self-responsibility you have for the feelings that you have, for the things that are happening to you, for the things that you are choosing, right? The more that you take responsibility for it and you stop blaming other people for the reasons that your needs are not getting met, or blaming the world. Oh, it's just unfair. I had unfair parents. Oh, I had unfair circumstances. I was poor. Oh my God, they're just an asshole. They're a narcissist. That's the reason my life sucks. No. Your life is not adequate to yourself, or you are struggling because you are choosing those things. You're choosing to hold on to those things and be a victim. You want to know that's the truth. That's the reality. And I know it's hard to hear, because don't get me wrong, I'm a big believer in validating emotions and experiencing your emotions, but it's about understanding why you're having the emotion. It's not about feeling the emotion and then blaming it, because that's what happens. I feel hurt. Ow, I'm angry. Fuck you. Do you see how quickly that happens? No, it's like, whoa, I'm feeling anger right now. Whoa. Before I react, let me go deeper. Let me understand why I'm angry. Let me understand why I'm sad. Do you see what I'm saying? Most people don't stop. They just react. And then they blame the emotion on the other person. And then they just feel to themselves, oh, emotions just happen to me. They make me happy. They make me sad. They make me angry. Self-responsibility is saying, no, they didn't make me angry. I felt angry. Why I felt angry? I don't know. I got to figure that shit out, right? That's the self-responsibility. You're being responsible for how you feel. The more responsible you are for how you feel, you don't think you create more peace? If you understood why you were feeling angry, if you understood why you were feeling sad, couldn't you change it? But as soon as you blame it on the other person, or put it on the other person and say they're the reason that they're making you feel this way, what happens? All you do is continue to choose the same loop, and then you continue to choose struggle, and then you continue to choose anger. You're choosing anger. You're choosing to be upset. I know, it's crazy. I'm sorry. It's not happening to you. You're choosing it. Self-responsibility says, I understand that I'm feeling angry because I'm choosing to be angry. I know it's a very radical way of thinking and feeling, but it's the motherfucking truth. It is. And my point is, think about this. If I understood what made me angry, what happens then? Awareness. And what can I do? I could change it. Oh, you know what made me angry about this is that I felt unappreciated. Wow. I didn't realize that. Oh, by the way, quick little caveat for you. Anytime you feel anger, it is hurt, by the way. If you've ever felt angry, ask yourself, not why am I angry? Ask yourself, what hurt me? Why am I feeling hurt? It's underneath, it's actually pain. But again, on the surface, what does it come out as? Anger. And anger is always about the past, and fear is always about the future. Do that right now, quickly in your head. Think about something that you've been angry about and realize that what happens? It's about something that happened in the past, and it's also something that hurt you. And then fear is the future. You are scared of an experience that you don't want to have in the future. That's why I said emotions, if you can break down the components of why you're feeling the things that you're feeling, you'll recognize that you're choosing it a lot of the times. The reason most people are feeling fear is they are fearing an experience that they don't want to feel or have in the future. And if you can let go of that and be in the present, guess what? Fear goes away. And guess what about anger? Same thing. If you can get yourself to the present, what happens? Anger goes away. If you can understand what hurt you, anger goes away. It's about understanding your emotions, about understanding what you are projecting out into the world. Again, self-responsibility. The more self-responsibility, the more you're loving yourself, because the more that you're understanding yourself and the better you could treat yourself. I'm on my motherfucking game, bitch. Seriously. That's why I said, new year, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck. Because I'm in my motherfucking bag right now. Okay. Last thing I want to say about that is, yeah, it's just like the more that you can understand yourself, understand your triggers, the better that you're going to be able to treat yourself. The more self-love you have, the more self-responsibility you have, the more likely you are to choose situations and things that are more in alignment with peace. Right? Because if I can tell that I'm feeling unappreciated by a partner, and I understand it and I take self-responsibility and I don't blame them for making me feel unappreciated, what can I do? I could turn around and say, okay, self-responsibility says that I'm choosing to be around somebody that's making me feel unappreciated. So what do I need to do? Self-responsibility. All right, remove myself from this person's life. I'm good. Hey, you're making me feel unappreciated. Oh, well, what did I say? Making me. A better way to communicate your feelings. I'm feeling unappreciated in this connection, so I don't think this is serving me any longer. I appreciate you. Love life. See you later. Deuce a loose. And you walk away. And you choose relationships in which what? You feel appreciated. Holy fuck. Self-responsibility is self-love. That's what it is. The more that you're responsible for the things that you're choosing, the more that you're loving yourself. The more that you love yourself, the more that you will find the outcomes that you think will bring you peace. It's crazy. All right. Let's talk about where Chris was being a needy little bitch. Oh, I was. I was triggered, and what did I blamed. I swear to God, it happened to me. I blamed. So I'm anxious avoidant. So, and this is what happens, right? When you have an insecure attachment, you have a lot of fear around love. When you have a lot of fear around love, you have a tendency to not understand how to connect to people. You'll feel very anxious at times. You'll run away from situations that might actually be good for you. It's a whole fucking mess. And we talked about with me in particular, right? When you're an anxious avoidant person, usually you deal with perfectionism, right? Nobody's ever fucking good enough for you, right? There's no partners in the world that you're attracted to. And then when you do meet somebody that you actually like for some reason, you're so fucking scared of losing it. So not only are you so looking for perfection, when you actually find your version of close to perfection, now you're shitting your pants because you feel like you're not enough for that person, or you need to perform for that person, or whatever the fuck. But let's break this down and go slow, because the reality is like you could hear it in concept, but what we got to do is we got to break it down into the roots and understand how this happens so instantaneously in a relationship. So let me give you a real life example, and hopefully this will help you understand, right? And again, this is from my own personal experience, and I'm going to show you how I use my tools of contemplation to understand my own fears, to understand my own self. The deeper I understand myself, the better I could show up to a relationship, the more love I can give to the world, the more love that I can give to myself. All right, let me just check on time. All right, we're fucking rolling, baby. Come on. All right, so I told you guys, I think 2 weeks ago that, like I was struggling with perfectionism. I told that girl to take a hike, right? The girl that I was talking to, because of all these qualities that I felt that I needed in the relationship. And I pretty much ran away, right? Again, I was like, all right, I can't do this. Lo and behold, this girl, again, what happens? Classic. She texts me a bunch of paragraphs. I want to say like 6 or 7 days later. And it was good. Honestly, she was, sending me some articles over Substack and just some good shit. And the reality is, I told you guys this, right? Is that like, there was never bad blood or never bad energy. So I was like, whatever. We started engaging again. We started talking again. And this time it was weird. It felt a little bit different, than it did the last time. So, but here's what I realized about me in relationships. I struggle with closeness. I do. Well, I used to struggle. Fuck me. That shit's hard to do. It's really difficult to watch your language in the way that you speak, but it is important. I used to be somebody that struggled with closeness. And with that, I think that I have a lot of fear around closeness. And so we're going to get into this a little bit. But so what is my dating pattern, right? As an anxious avoidant person, right? Me in particular, my pattern is I date these girls. They're cool for a second. I keep them at a distance. I never actually commit to them. And then I kind of keep them at this distance, and then they try to keep dating me. And then, I don't know, I'm kind of like in this limbo state of like, do I like you? Do I not like you? Do I want to commit to you? Do I not? So that's where I kind of stay. Now, here's the funny part about this. As I get deeper into the relationship with these girls, I do actually start to feel more. And this makes sense. I think as you get closer to somebody and you start talking to them more and more and more, you do have this level of closeness and vulnerability and care. So long story short is this. I was away in New York and I was like texting her. She was texting me and she like sent me some like picture of a gym outfit. She's like, oh, I look like a stripper in this or something. And she's like, oh, I'm about to go to the gym looking like a stripper or something like that. And then she's like, I can't wear this. And then she like sent me some pictures. You guys know how that goes. She's probably trying to get my attention. Who the fuck knows? But it's funny because in that moment, I got a little triggered. I was like, oh, why are you showing me like this stuff when like we're supposed to like not be together or not really talking? So, you know what? I kind of gave her somewhat classic me. I was like, distance. I was like, I don't really like that energy. Like, feels like a lot. Next day, same thing, casual. I was like, how was your day? She's like, good. She's like, oh, I'm about to go meet a girlfriend. And then she sends me like a voice note. And then she's like, oh, I'm running out to like go meet my friends for dinner. I really love my outfit right now. It looks really good. And she just said a bunch of other things like, I hope you had a good day, blah, blah, blah. She was like, I don't know, being like, oh, I hope you were having fun in New York, like being kind. But what happened to me, right? What was I feeling? I got triggered. I know this is going to sound weird, but I was triggered. I was triggered by the fact that she was telling me that she looks good going out. I'm like, I don't want to fucking hear that shit. We're not supposed to be together. And on top of that, it's like, I don't know. It's like this feeling of like, I know we're not together, but at the same time, I think that underneath, and this is what I recognized as I did some further work on this, I was like, yeah, like, I don't care if like you're single doing your thing, go ahead. I just don't want to fucking hear it, to be honest. That's what it comes down to. So after she sent me that voice note, what did I do? I was like, I'm good. I stopped answering her. I swear to God. I listened to that voice note. I was like, I can't do this. I was like, I'm paying attention to my family. I'm present right now. I don't need to deal with all this bullshit. I was mad. Honestly, I was mad. And again, to her, it's funny as fuck because she's like, I'm not even doing anything. But anyways, there was, and just quick pause on this story. There was also a time, I want to say about like 2 weeks ago, where like, again, we're not together because I told her I didn't want to be together. And we were on the phone and and she was talking about like wanting to come over. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I could do tonight. I was like, oh, what about Friday? And she's like, oh, I got plans Friday. And then like the conversation moved on. I was like, ugh. Plans. I didn't question her in the moment because we kept talking, but what did I feel? I was like, Plans? I was like, don't fucking talk to me. Don't tell me you have plans. Like, if you're going to tell me if you have plans, like, if it's with a girlfriend, say it. You know what I mean? Or if it's with a guy, fucking say it too. It kind of felt like she was being discreet and she was just being like, oh, I got plans on like Friday. Now, again, in her own mind, she's not thinking about that at all. She's not. Again, what's happening? It's my own fears that are being projected onto the situation. So when she had come over, she actually ended up coming over Friday before she went out to that dinner. This is, again, the different story. And I was being snarky with her. I was like, oh, are you sure you're going to be back home at that time? I was like, oh, what if you just like meet a guy and you need extra time? Like, you can do that. I pretty much told her, yeah, you can go do that. Go ahead. Go be with another dude. I don't care. I was like saying shit like that. Triggered. And you know how guys get, right? A lot of guys, and I've experienced this in my own, way of living where it's like, there's just random times where like a girl is like, just, I don't know, she's about to go hang out with her friends or she's doing something that might feel normal to her. And sometimes I think girls know a little bit, like they try to like, jab at you a little bit. They try to like, look good in front of you and be like, hey, I'm going out or some shit. I don't know. My whole point is this is you could feel angry about that as a guy, right? Especially me, right? When I have a lot of fear around relationships, this is why like the old version of Chris used to be very controlling. I used to be very dismissive. I used to be very controlling because these things would bother me. And then I would put it on them. That's the thing too. It's like almost like I would make it their fault. And that's why a lot of guys, when they date, they have a lot of rules. Oh, if you dress this way, then blah, blah, blah. Oh, you didn't text me back within 2 hours? Like, you're a slut. You know what I mean? But really, what is that, right? That anger, what did we say it is underneath? Hurt, fear. So let's jump back. And so, by the way, we had a very honest conversation about this that first time. And she was mad at me. She was like, why would you make that comment to me? Like, go be with another guy. Like, I clearly don't want that. Like, I care about you. Like, why the fuck would you say that? Like, she got mad at me for saying that, right? Because I was being kind of an asshole, to be real. And yeah, I had to just be like, I don't know. It's just like, I had to sit with that myself and be like, shit, I don't know. I guess I think I have like a fear of like being taken advantage of in a way. And so that's what's the weird part about all this is that most women, they're not out there trying to fuck you over. That's what's crazy is most men, there's a lot of men, we feel that this girl is going to go outside and like fuck us over and sleep around or do some shit. And because of that feeling, we then project that onto them and make these comments and make these rules and get really snarky and get indirect. Meanwhile, the whole time, like the girl is like, she doesn't feel that way. And that's what she was getting angry at me because I was making these comments and she's like, Chris, I have like tried to love you. You know what I mean? I care about you so much. I'm not looking for another guy. And this is what I told her. Okay, so this is where the story gets even deeper, right? Because here's the thing about Chris. The hard part for me is this. I don't give these girls commitment. And I told you guys about creating the container. I have struggled with giving girls commitment. And so because of that, the reason I get extra triggered when they're back in my life is because I'm like, well, I'm not committed to you. There is no safety here. You literally could go out and meet a guy and that is that. And honestly, in my past, what ends up happening is this is my pattern in relationships. And this is why I'm projecting a lot of this on my current relationship is because in the past, what I do is I keep the girls at a distance. I don't want to commit. Eventually, those girls do something that pisses me off. Oh, they go hang out with a guy or they go on a date or they sleep with somebody because we don't have fucking commitment, right? And then I turn around, I'm like, fuck you, you fucked me over. So now I have this fear that when we're not in a commitment, that you're going to go and do something else. This is why I was triggered. So that's why when you go to the story of like when I'm in New York and we're just casually texting as friends, we haven't seen each other, right? There's no depth to the connection just yet, but I'm still feeling some type of way because I still feel like we're more than friends. And we are. That's reality. The reality is this. If you're sleeping with somebody and you guys were romantic, you guys are not fucking friends. Cut it out. cut it out. And I cannot stand that. I see that a lot too with like the people that I work with sometimes too, where it's like you're dating, and then it doesn't work out. And then you guys will turn around and be like, I don't want to lose you though. So like, let's just be friends. You guys are not friends. You're not friends. Yes, you guys are cordial and cool, but there is more feelings there than friendship. There is. You're lying to yourselves. You're living a lie. So that's essentially what's happening in this relationship, right? She's agreeing to friendship with me, but I'm feeling triggered because I'm like, do you just want to be my friend so that you could have my attention while you go fucking find another guy? Because that's what other girls have done in the past. And so that's why I'm getting so fucking triggered by her just even saying, oh wow, look at my outfit today. She's not even thinking about it like that. That's what's crazy. She's not. But again, what are our reactions? Our reactions are our responsibility. So she triggers me, right? And what I did was this. I'm flying back to Arizona, right? And I text her back and I say, hey, I'm going to be honest with you. The comment about you dressing X, Y, and Z, going to the gym, and how nice your outfit looked while you went out. Like, if that's what you're going to talk about, like, I think we should just stay no contact. Like, I'm good on that. And she was upset. She's like, what the fuck? Where the fuck did this come from? Like, where did this come from? She was like, so she didn't know what to do, honestly. But the truth is what? Is like, I was anxious. That's the truth. I was anxious. I was anxious that she was going to fuck me over. And honestly, if you ask all my exes, let's say we got all my exes on the podcast right now. You guys love when I do this. But the truth is this, the way that I show up in relationships is a lot of fear. If you ask most anxious avoidant people, that's what you'll realize. Relationships are hard. They're hard because you have this really deep fear of abandonment. The feelings that you have in a relationship are not quote unquote normal, right? So somebody that's a lot more grounded, like relationship people, like people that are always in relationships, they get in relationships so easily. They're so comfortable in them. It's not hard. They text the person, even the person that I'm talking to right now. That's what it is for her. Like, she doesn't feel afraid that I'm going to fuck her over. She has no fear of that, which is insane because I'm keeping her at a distance. But a lot of people don't have that type of anxiety. They don't have that deep fear of abandonment. For some other people, my anxious avoidant, I have a client this week that I started with. She's the same way. And I was like, I know that motherfucking feeling. That feeling when, somebody texts you something and it just bothers you and you don't know what to do, and you're just sitting in anxiousness because you're just so fucking scared. You think that the other person is like fucking you over for no fucking reason, honestly, truly. But it's the projection. It's the projection of your past hurt. It's the projection of your fear around relationships. So what I realized is that in relationships, I have a fear of being taken advantage of. And I then project that onto this girl sometimes, and she gets upset. She's like, Chris, I'm not going to fuck you over. Like, why? Like, what's going on? So I had to sit there and be like, you're right. Like, okay, let me contemplate where this comes from. So I go back in my, me, meditation Chris, baby, he's back. So I lay down in my bed. Over the last 2 days, I've been trying to understand. All right, I'm like, okay, where does this come from? And even with talking, I talked it out with her a little bit because we have really vulnerable, honest conversations. That's why I love about my relationships that I have now, current day, is that I only interact with people that I feel very comfortable of, like, sharing my vulnerable feelings. I share exactly how I'm feeling. I share exactly my fears. We have these really open, honest conversation, open dialogue. I don't fight. I'm not in a relationship. I swear to God, I do not fight with my significant others or dating partners. The people that I attract in my life at this point are very open, very honest, very good people. So I had to understand, okay, why do I have a fear of being taken advantage of? Meditation, right? I get down to it. I feel in my body. Where does that come from? Where is that fear of being taken advantage of? What experience have I had in my past in which I had been taken advantage of? And so I go back into the archives. The first memory that came up for me was I was like, fear of being taken advantage of. I was like, what happened? So let's go back in time for Chris. My first girlfriend, like official girlfriend, or maybe not even really like actual boyfriend girlfriend, because again, you know, Chris, I already had this pattern of fear of commitment very early on in my dating life. I was single like all the time, like between like 0 to 19. I think I had like 1 or 2 girlfriends, like maybe, and like who the fuck knows, barely really hung out, like that kind of energy. But this first girl that I like kind of dated, I was dating her, but I was also still keeping her at a distance. I was keeping her at a distance with humor. I was keeping her at a distance with sarcasm. It's like we were committed to each other, but we really didn't like verbalize it. And then on top of that, I used to do shit like this. This was the clarifying moment in that relationship. I think we were talking for about 4 months. We're long distance at the time. I met her in Arizona State. She's back in Arizona. I'm in New York for the summer. This is in college. And essentially what happens is I go to Atlantic City with my boys, and I'm driving back home from Atlantic City with all my guy friends in the car. She's on the phone. I have her on speakerphone, and I told her that I had a confidence boosting weekend in Atlantic City. She's triggered as fuck. She's pissed off. She's yelling. I have her on mute. Me and my boys are laughing. You know, it's college bullshit, college love, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But long story short, like that week we were talking more. I kept feeling to myself, I'm like, I do like this girl. I like this girl, right? I'm like, I like this girl. I was like, I remember walking home, right? I was walking home in New York City, and I remember texting her, and I think I texted her and I said, I love you. And then I didn't hear anything back. And that was weird for her because she was really on top of texting me. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, why didn't she text me back? A couple hours go by. Like, this is weird. My friends, I think, were coming over to sleep over at my house. I was really like, I was for the boys back in the day. And I was like, I had this like gut feeling. I'm like, something's fucking wrong. Something's weird. So I make up this story that her friend messaged me on Facebook and told me everything that had happened. That's what I said to her. I got her on the phone after a couple hours. She finally answers me. And I was like, you have one time to tell me the truth. I know what happened. Your friend messaged me on Facebook. I just made all this up, by the way, based on a gut feeling that I had. And I was like, tell me the truth or we're fucking done. And then she told me that she went to the movies with some other guy and that she cheated on me. And I was stunned. I remember I was stunned. I was like, holy fuck. So I don't know. I let that go. It is what it was. I broke up with her. She was crying. She was trying to get me back for so long. Honestly, till this day, really. Like, that's one of the original loves of my life. I actually have a lot of love for that girl. She's not a bad girl at all. She really is. She's an awesome human being. And, you know, we were just young. We didn't have the tools at the time. And so here's the thing, though. It's like I recognize something is that, like, I think I fear being taken advantage of in relationships, but that fear also drives a lot of the reason that maybe I do get taken advantage of. I know that sounds weird, but I had a lot of self-blame to that cheating in a weird way. I had a lot of blame to myself because I was like, damn, like maybe I made her cheat. I know it sounds dumb. But and again, all of this stuff I'm just feeling in my body, right? It's like all coming back to me as I'm like laying down. And there's a couple key things about that relationship that I think are important. Number one, I was always kind of like anxious that she was going to leave me the whole time. The other thing too is that I felt that I needed to perform in order to keep her. I had, with that girlfriend in particular, and every girl that I dated up until that point, I had really bad performance anxiety in the bedroom. So like I could not get hard. For the first like month and a half of our relationship, I could not have sex with her. I was so in my head about having sex with her that all I did was keep her up at night, and I would just like talk to her till like 5 a.m. and we would never have sex. We'd always try and we never would. And for some reason, she would just stay with me. Like she really did care about me. Really, she really did. That's why I said it's a very confusing situation. because there was such a lot of love there. She was one of the first girls that really gave me the time of day. But the reality is that my fears around love started way before her. And the thing is, you have no awareness over your fears in relationship as a college person, as a college student, and when your first relationships, you don't realize, but you're already coming into those relationships with beliefs around love. The patterns have already started and you just have no awareness. But let me bring this back and how it all comes back. But here's the thing, right? It's like, I have this pattern. What is the pattern? I keep girls at a distance. I'm afraid that they're going to fuck me over, but I also feel anxious that they're going to leave me. I struggle with thinking that I need to perform for them. Again, this is where the anxious avoidant thing really comes to play. And then what happens is they end up, I don't know, something happens to the relationship. We either break up or they're with somebody else, or I don't fucking know, right? Because I'm not giving them any safety. I'm not. And on top of that, I'm in my head about performance. Relationships have been chaos for me, honestly. And then there's all this self-blame. She cheated, and then internally, it's like I have this blame that it's my fault. It's crazy. But in a weird way, it's like it is and it isn't. But it's nobody's fault. It's just life. That's what we need to understand too. That like, I didn't have this awareness. She didn't have this awareness. A lot of people, we don't have this awareness. We don't. When these things happen and we make mistakes, they're nobody's fault. But at the time, your body takes it one way and you run with it. So what I had to do is I had to understand, okay, I understand where it played out, this fear of being taken advantage of and how it started to build, right? Because think about this. Now, all of my relationships, what happens? I do the same thing. I keep them at a distance. I fear that I might be taken advantage of. I probably don't even realize it because I'm just keeping them at a distance and I'm seeking this perfection. Why am I seeking perfection? I'm seeking perfection probably because I'm like, I don't want to get fucked over. That's the truth. So, but what I needed to do is I need to get even deeper. I need to say, okay, these beliefs around love started even earlier. This fear of being taken advantage of. Why do I feel that? And why do I feel that people are going to hurt me? And why did I blame myself? And what I realized is that I feel like I have a fear of making mistakes because back in the day, like when I think about like my home life, that's a lot of what it was. It was like, I don't know, like if I did something wrong, I would get punished. I was constantly trying to not get punished. That's what I remember. It's like, I just never wanted to make a mistake. If I made a mistake, I was going to get in trouble. And I think that's like that fear of making mistakes is also why I struggle in relationships is because I feel, or I used to struggle. We're back. The fear of making mistakes in relationship is the same thing because I'm scared that if I do something wrong or if I'm not perfect in a relationship, that they're going to fuck me over. And think about the current day relationship. Because I have kept this girl at a distance and because I haven't given her safety, I am scared that she is going to fuck me over. Do you see what I'm saying? I feel like I need to be perfect. I feel like I need to be the best version of me or I'm not going to get the relationship that I want. But that's a tightrope. And that's what I'm trying to say. A lot of anxious avoidant people, they feel this in relationship. That's why relationships are so hard. Or they feel that way. Is because not only do you feel like you need to be perfect for them, but you also feel like you need to be perfect for yourself. You really struggle with self-acceptance. That's what I'm saying. For a really long time, I was very insecure. I was very insecure about who I was. Because I just felt that I always needed to be perfect. And I felt that I always needed to just like, again, I needed to fuck them good. I needed to give them everything. I needed to be this perfect boyfriend or I wasn't going to be chosen. And not only that, I have these ridiculous standards for myself, these standards of perfection for myself, because there's no mistakes around here. And because I have these standards for myself, I then push those standards onto my partner. That's why I said the anxious avoidant thing. seeking perfection in finding your partner, which keeps you away, which is really just a defense mechanism, right? It's just fear that of letting somebody in, letting somebody imperfect in, letting something in that's uncontrollable. But then on top of it, when you find somebody that you actually like, now you're afraid that you're not enough for them. Now you're anxious as fuck over little things. You think that every single thing that they do, they might be fucking you over with. And you know where the self-blame could kind of come from a little bit? You know what I felt a little bit? Is that maybe I blame myself for my parents' issues in a way. The way that my parents operated. Like, my parents got a divorce when I was very young. I remember seeing that relationship and thinking, I don't want that. Like, I don't want that for myself, right? Like, I want a relationship that's healthy. That doesn't look healthy. They're arguing, they're fighting. And they were no contact. And the only way that they kind of communicated to each other was actually through us, right? Like, oh, go tell your dad this when you get to his house. Text your dad and ask him when he's coming to pick you up. It was never like, I'm going to communicate with your father that I fucking married and had you guys and talk about how to parent you guys. We're going to do it through you guys. We're going to do it through the kids. So I guess what I truly felt, or I feel underneath, is that I can't make mistakes in love, or people will hurt me or leave me. And do you see how the depth that we had to get to from the trigger of I was upset that she just texted me and said that she had like kind of a slutty outfit for the gym, or that she had a nice outfit while she was going out with her girlfriends, even though we're not dating? Do you see where the self-responsibility comes in, and understanding yourself and understanding your own triggers and understanding why everything is a projection of your own inner beliefs and fears? That's what I'm saying. I think to like my friends that are like relationship people, they would have never batted an eye at like what this girl was texting me. Not even close. Honestly, they'd probably be dating the girl, which I'm not. Because they'd probably be like, all right, this girl's cool and you guys are having a good time and there's good vibes here. Why don't you just date her? I'm like, oh, I don't know. She's just not enough. She just actually doesn't work hard enough. Okay, see you later. Defense mechanism. Oh, Jesus Lord. That's what I'm trying to say, is like, you just got to have awareness and understanding that the outcomes of your life are based on all the things that you believe and feel. They are. So I guess what I had to, again, the resolution of all this was this. It wasn't her fault for sending me those messages. I was triggered because, and I had to be honest with her. I shared this with her. I shared this to her face. I said, I'm scared that you are going to just end up with somebody else or date somebody else. And I pretty much told it to her face. I was like, my fear is that you're just being my friend just to keep me close and just to hold on to me so that you could find somebody else and eventually discard me. That's the truth. That is how I was feeling. But again, what was I doing? I was projecting and I was creating distance, right? That's my natural pattern. My natural pattern was like, all right, if you talk about your clothes, if you talk about hanging out with your friends, then don't fucking talk to me. Anger, underneath, hurt, fear. And so this is what I'm realizing too about my own perfectionism, which I've really started to diminish. I've started to recognize that, like, it's just like, it's a fear of vulnerability. It's a fear of making mistakes. Perfectionism is a fear of making mistakes. And if you're afraid to make a mistake, are you going to try? No, you're not. So that's where that anxious avoidant thing kind of comes into play. It's like, how do I relate to people in romantic relationships? Distance, right? Not giving them commitment, distance. And then when I do have them in my life, when I have a partner in my life, it could be even a situationship. If they don't text me back in a certain amount of time, or they tell me that they're going to go out for the night, that could feel very triggering. Because I'm not even giving them commitment, because I'm not performing for them, because I feel like I'm, not giving them what they want, that they're going to fuck me over. It's pretty hard to be in a relationship like that. So what does self-love mean for Chris? What does self-responsibility look like for Chris? It looks like learning to try to trust people. And you know what was great about this partner that we're talking about right now? And this is why sometimes relationships can be healing. What do you think she turned around and told me? Chris, I'm not these other girls. I'm not just going to fuck you over. I'm not looking for another guy. And she's like, I know I don't even owe that to you because we're not even dating. But that's the truth. And that's what's interesting is like, I don't know. I have to learn to trust people more, trust myself more too. Like I'm recognizing, like I need to have the self-responsibility and the self-love to understand that she is free to do what she has to do. That I don't need her to behave differently. I don't need her. That's what I told her too. I was like, I don't need you to lower your personality. What was my initial ask? My initial trigger told me to tell her that she needs to change her behavior. Hey, you need to not tell me about when you're dressing slutty. You need to not talk to me or go fucking take a hike. And how many people like, and I know you guys do this in relationships. I coach you every day. So I know you motherfuckers do this shit too. And we all do it. We try to control the other person because of our own fears. That's why I said self-responsibility, self-love. We're attempting to fill our own fears and needs with the other person. If they change their behavior, I'll feel better. I'll feel grounded. But the truth is to have the awareness to say, no, Chris, you don't need her to change. You need to be honest about how it's maybe making you feel. Maybe be honest about the feelings that you're having underneath, but you are responsible for being in a relationship in which you are not giving her commitment. You are choosing that, Chris. It's not her fault. So what does that mean for me? It means for me, be honest about how I feel, and then also understand that I am choosing to be in a relationship in which we don't have commitment. And if I'm able to accept that, then that's cool. And guess what? If I feel like we shouldn't even have any communication, then that's what I feel like, and I need to own that and I need to honor it. It's not her fault. Self-responsibility, self-love. All right. Let's do the quick situation and we'll wrap up for the day. Where are we at? Hopefully not too bad. Oh, hour. All right. Quickly. You know what they say? You guys ever watch Harry Potter? There's always one scene that I remember. And again, it's not really even like a big scene. But I feel like they're like walking out of the room. It might be Sorcerer's Stone. And he's like, quickly, please. I don't know if that's a major scene. I don't think that it is actually. So I'm acting crazy right now. Okay. Let's go to the fucking sitch. Okay. So this is a woman who DM'd me. And by the way, guys, if you have questions or situations, you want me to respond to something, send it my way. DM me, whatever, message me. You guys get the deal. All right. She's like, I met this guy while I was out of town. Coincidentally, I've seen him around my neighborhood many times on duty. He's in law enforcement. I ran into him while I was out of town at a bar. We talked. He got my number. He invited me to brunch the next day. We've gone on several dates, kept in touch. I even met his dog, LOL. Great. December is the busiest month with work, as he's expressed, so I'm understanding. So this guy's now telling her, hey, December's pretty busy. I'm going to be busy. She said, however, the last few weeks he became distant, less of a texter. So I would call him to make sure he was okay and just continue getting to know each other as we both agreed on. I offered to make him dinner and drop off for Christmas as he was working as a treat, and he was very appreciative and said yes. On Christmas Eve, I messaged him, what time can we meet to drop the food off, or we could wait to the next day. Long story short, he doesn't respond to the next day after I'd called him. Again, he was short. I messaged back and I never heard back from him again. I found out he blocked me without any explanation. We had just talked the weekend before Christmas and he mentioned some family issues. We were on the same page with things and thought everything was fine. We have been talking for a little over a month. I don't know how to feel after being blocked. Dropped like cold turkey. I think it's dropped cold turkey, not like cold turkey. But that's dropped like motherfucking cold turkey. We both talked about our feelings towards each other. That is true. That happened in the past. So I'm very confused on why he would block me. To add, he's 26, I'm 31. I'm a single mom. He has no kids, lives alone. Me being a mom, never intervened with our dates. So I don't understand why he would do that when he came off very mature. Okay, so the situation is she essentially got ghosted and blocked, it seems like, after talking with this guy after a month. Now, let's go to the example that we use right now, right? About the self-responsibility and the self-love and just the triggers, right? Can we see where she was triggered in this story? I hope you guys were listening to that story and thinking to yourself, oh, wow, okay, I see it now, right? So they were dating for like a month, right? It is what it is, right? She's doing the girl thing, like the fantasy. It's like, we talked about how amazing we were and how amazing we're going to be together into the future. First off, you're dating for a month. You don't know the person. I understand it's going well, but again, this is why we need to be really present in dating. So you're going on a bunch of dates, whatever. He started to become distant. Okay, boom, right there, right? He starts to become distant. What ends up happening? How do you feel? That's what I would ask. What happens? How do you feel? You probably feel like, what the fuck? Why are you being distant, right? This doesn't what? Feel good. It doesn't, right? I feel unappreciated, whatever it is. How does she respond to her own feelings of being dismissed, right? So I would call him to make sure he was okay, right? I don't know. You're not his mother, by the way. And just continue to getting to know each other as we both agreed on. So now she's essentially saying, hey, we have a contract, buddy. We agreed that we liked each other, okay? So you're going to answer the phone because I'm feeling dismissed. And here's the thing. I'm not trying to say that this girl's actions were bad, but do you see how her trigger of feeling dismissed then became, okay, he needs to answer my call. We need to keep talking because that's what I need. I need you to keep answering me. You told me that you would be here for me. So anyways, she then offers to make him dinner and drop it off for Christmas. This is anxious girl up the wazoo. Why are we dropping off food to him at Christmas when homie's being dismissive? Do you see that? Homie was being dismissive and her response was, I need to call more, I need to text more, and now I need to deliver food to his house like I'm DoorDash. And are you really telling me this is out of pure love, or is this out of a reaction in which you are feeling discarded and you don't know what to do? So what you're doing is you're doing more because you think that if you do more, you might get more of the attention that you want. Do you see how your needs for needing attention or needing this relationship has now turned into you doing way more for an outcome? Now, if we had self-responsibility and self-love, let's say we had more self-love in this situationship or in this situation, right? What happens? Especially after he's stopped responding, right? And he starts ignoring you. Then what? If you had the most amount of self-love, and I could ask every single anxious girl, because every single anxious girl or anxious person, what are they going to respond to me when I say that? Hey, somebody starts to be dismissive. They stop trying to chill with you. They are short. You're literally trying to drop off food to his fucking house, and he's still ignoring you. That's crazy. You're trying to give him DoorDash free food, and he's saying no. You know what I'm saying? Read between the lines. Long story short, he ends up ghosting and then blocking. And then you're sitting here like, why would he do that? I don't understand. But let's go back. If we had the appropriate amount of self-responsibility and self-love, true self-love, which is an understanding that what? We're being dismissed. This doesn't feel good. True self-love would look like, hey, I'm not just going to keep calling you and delivering food to your house. What I'm going to do is I'm going to vulnerably communicate to you how I feel. Hey, what's going on? It feels distant. Are you still in this? Do you still want to be here? I feel unappreciated. Not, hey, here's a fucking meal for Christmas. Do you see what I'm saying? There's a huge difference. And then what ends up happening too, and this is you want to practice more self-love in this situation. You're asking me about why you don't understand he would do that or block you. I want you to go back and I want you to contemplate for yourself, why are you trying to get the attention of somebody that is showing you that they are not appreciating you? You need to understand that about yourself. You are, see, do you see how her lens of the world is creating the situation? It's not the guy that's creating the situation. It's not his fault. He doesn't need to do more. He's not immature. And that's what we do, right? We blame the person. Why? He's such an immature douchebag. And don't get me wrong. He's got his own issues. That's fair, right? He couldn't communicate to you honestly that you're being way too needy. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's probably hard to tell you that to your face. And again, you're not being needy because you want love. That's not what I'm saying. You're being needy when you have a need that's not being fulfilled and you're forcing him to fulfill the need for you. You see what I'm saying? You don't realize, but you are forcing him to give you more energy by doing stuff for him. You're not doing that stuff because you feel good. It's not like he's texting you and saying, I love you, baby. You're the best. And you're feeling good. You're like, I'm going to bake him a cake because we are just mutually loving each other. You baked this motherfucker a cake and he's been dismissing you for 3 weeks. What's going on? Do you see what I'm saying? To me, this is more about you feeling like, I don't know, that you're not getting enough or that you're not enough, that you need to prove yourself to this person and not recognizing the whole time you're choosing a dynamic in which some guy's being dismissive towards you. I get that you met his dog. I get that you went on several dates. That doesn't mean he's your husband. And this isn't to call you out and say you're a bad person. You are not. You are not. You are a growing and learning human being, right? And it does suck when somebody starts to change their energy. It really does. It's hard, right? Because what ends up happening? You build the identity of what you think the relationship is going to be. Already in your mind, you've wrote the story. You're like, oh, we're dating. We're going on dates. I met his dog, LOL. Like, God damn, like we're going to be together. Like, we agreed to like each other. Hey, bro, we agreed on it. There's no getting out of this relationship, baby. We agreed. I'm bringing a motherfucking cake to your house, whether you like it or not. And then you're turning around and telling me, I don't understand. Why did he block me? And not to say you're crazy and you deserve to get blocked. It's not that. My whole point is... You know, there's 50-50 to these dynamics. You see what I'm saying? Yes, he is being dismissive and he is being immature by not being honest to how he feels about your energy. But at the same time, too, you're also being dishonest. I know that it seems weird, but because you're thinking to yourself, I'm being honest. I'm just loving him. I'm just loving him. You're loving him for an outcome, though. Because if you truly had the appropriate amount of self-love and awareness of reality, you'd recognize that he's not treating you well. Why would you continue doing more? Do you see what I'm saying? So actually, your energy is inauthentic because you're not actually loving yourself. You're not respecting yourself. And because you're not respecting yourself, what happens to the partners around you? Do they respect you? You want to know why he blocked you? You're not respecting your own energy. You're not respecting yourself. You're not taking enough self-responsibility. You don't have enough self-love. Because if we had self-love, we had self-responsibility in this situation, what would happen? We'd recognize the feelings that we're feeling. We'd recognize that we're feeling dismissed. We'd be honest to that. We wouldn't continue over-giving because we feel like we need to perform. And that's what I'm trying to say for you. You need to get down into the root of what are your fears when it comes to love. Because what I perceive from the outside, and plus, trust me, I've been doing this for a really long time in my life, and I like to think I'm the best in the business. More than likely, you probably have a fear of not being enough. You have anxious attachment, and you are struggling with the idea that who you are as you are struggles to be chosen, so you try to force people to choose you. And that's why you're getting those outcomes. Think about my situation, right? If I have a fear of being taken advantage of, what happens? I end up poking the bear until eventually they fuck me over. If you have a fear of not being chosen, what happens? Eventually you try to be chosen, you try to be chosen, you try to be chosen, you try to be chosen until what? They don't choose you anymore. Because you're struggling to choose yourself. Self-responsibility, self-love, self-awareness. So you want to be a much happier person. You want to be a much more grounded person. This is why you got to start working with me. Because it's not even about relationships. It's not even about dating. It's about your own peace. It's about your own awareness. It's about getting to the root of your own internal fears that are driving you. I mean, you could try to do this on your own. And don't get me wrong. I challenge you to do it. I hope that you do it because the answers are inside of you. They are inside of you. But you got to get to that root. What is it that you fear and how are you projecting it onto the world? Because there is not enough self-love in this situation. There is not. And when I say automatically equate it, say when Chris says out loud, there's not enough self-love in this situation, I hope the immediate thing goes into your mind is like, I don't have enough self-responsibility right now. Fuck. I'm blaming. I'm saying that the world outside of me is the reason that I am not feeling good. The reason that you're not feeling good is because you are choosing a situation that you're being dismissed. And here's the thing. I'm not saying to ignore your pain. I'm saying to own your pain. I'm saying to be vulnerable with yourself. I'm telling you to be motherfucking honest with yourself. Homie's not showing up. How does that make you feel? Dismissed. Own it. Tell him. Own it. Don't give him another cake. Don't bake him a cake. Don't keep calling him. Experience the pain of somebody switching up on you. Own it. Be honest to it. Take responsibility for it. Set a boundary. Move on. All right, boys and girls. I fucking love you. It is going to be a great motherfucking year. And I'm telling you, if you listen to this motherfucking podcast, you are going to grow like a motherfucker. I love you guys. You ever want to cultivate peace and happiness and love in your life? You want to become a more secure person in yourself? You know where to motherfucking find me. Hit the goddamn apply button. Love you guys. Bye.